You already know what time it is. The NBA is back. And that means, well, I'm still here. But we got live sports in full swing, not just NASCAR, not just KBO, but I'm talking baseball somewhat. I'll get to that. All kind of good stuff. Do not forget to wear the stinking mask if you want this thing to go away. Go to the 12 Ounce Sports store. You can get a mask in 4 different colors, $10.99 each, plus shipping and handling. For the mask, darn it. Also, mybookie.ag with a $1,000 deposit bonus. This is Mike Said It First. I am your host, Michael Carker-Lark. I'm kidding, it's Michael Carver-Ellis. With that being said, up top, you will see our topics that I will not get to. Zingo TV is where you want to be, channel 761. Great partner of 12 Ounce Sports. We are live. It is 10:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this beautiful Friday night. Got an announcement about that later on, by the way. Right here, you'll see the Twitter handle, MKADHD. If you want to get at me, you know what to do. And remember, our topics and headlines are brought to you by mybookie.ag. As mentioned before, up to a $1,000 deposit bonus on 12 Ounce Sports, 12OZ Sports for that price. All right. On today's show, Jamal Adams to Seattle. What do I think? What do I think about the Jets as well? Marlins, and specifically Major League Baseball versus COVID-19. How well has the MLB handled this? The NBA has returned, as mentioned. I'm ecstatic, and the Lakers won. We'll get to that in many more games. A lot of stuff going on there. NFL 100 list. They got this completely wrong, per usual. This might be the worst one yet. And the AFC East headlines. Patriots, Bills, Dolphins, Jets. What you guys got going on in the Northeast? Let's get started on the show. So Jamal Adams, who was drafted in the first round a few years back by the New York Jets, has been shipped away to Seattle to join Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner and the crew over there in the NFC West. And that is talk about a physical division. Wow. Okay, that might be the best defensive back division in football. I'm talking out of my butt right there. Don't quote me on that. It may not be true. But it seems like they're pretty tough out there. My point with that is, Jamal Adams has been talking crazy for the last year or so about why he wants to leave, basically because he's a sore loser, but he wants money and they won't pay him the money yet. And no offense, I wouldn't either, but whatever. And the fact is, Jamal Adams finally got what he wanted, and he probably went to a better team than he wanted. I don't know why, if I'm being screwed over like the Jets were, why somehow, some way, I'm going to ship him to Seattle. Maybe because Seattle was the only one that was going to give him a safety who was a veteran in McDougald. Also, 2 first-round picks. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty good. I guess some people said they were the highest buyers, okay? That's a lot to give up for a dude who hasn't even signed a contract and wants to be the highest paid defensive player in football. That being said, Jets will be fine. Now, I say that on the surface, but let's really talk about the Jets for just a minute, okay? And I'm going to get a little bit, maybe touch on some more points in this when I get to my AFC East, because they happen to be part of the AFC East, right? Adam Gase is not a good head coach. One of the worst in football. With the Dolphins, he held back Ryan Tannehill and Minkah Fitzpatrick. And if you don't believe me, look at how Ryan Tannehill looked with the Tennessee Titans. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Also, Le'Veon Bell was an awesome running back. Goes to the Jets, suddenly cannot get past the line of scrimmage. Jamal Adams, one of the best safeties in football, one of the best defensive backs in football, won't get happy and calls out Adam Gase. Sam Darnold, I like him. He's not a bad quarterback, but he also hasn't progressed, and Adam Gase was supposed to help that out, and I don't know why they've even thought that. I don't understand what the Jets are doing here. Someone made a great point. I believe it was Joy Taylor via The Herd. She's the moderator for Colin Cowherd on FS1. And she said, they get 2 first-round picks back, but what was Jamal Adams? It's not like Jamal Adams was some late-round pick. No, they got 2 first-rounders, and they shipped away a first-rounder, and I just don't, it's weird. It's weird to me. I agree with Joy Taylor, like, they haven't gotten it right before. Why would they want it right now? As for how and I'll get more, like I said, into the Jets later on. That being said, though, Seahawks right now, it helps them, obviously. They've got a ball hawk of a safety. Not that he intercepts passes or turns the ball over, but he's a very good player who can control the field, similar to Cam Chancellor? I don't know where I'm not remembering. I believe it was Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas was the one I was thinking of. He can control the field. But let's be real. Russell Wilson is the only reason the 49ers have. Wow. Okay, first of all, I'm watching the Rockets and Mavericks game on my TV, and Russell Westbrook just went over Boban Marjanovic. That was pretty cool. And the point is, I believe it was Russell Wilson's team to begin with. I don't think this changes that. I still believe the 49ers would beat them this year. That's up to Russell Wilson. Now, Jamal Adams, like I said, helps that. But that does not guarantee them wins. He's just a nice, sexy piece to have in the middle of the field. That's great. I don't believe safety should be paid like quarterbacks. Now, I do believe there should be more of a fine line and more of a balance in the pay grade. But I still feel very much so that this should be, that quarterbacks should make more if they are, because they control the team that much more, okay? Now, I will talk about the NBA after this, but let's get to this blasted league, okay? I have said so many times that I cannot watch Major League Baseball. And I keep going back to it like what is the guy name? I'm going to go to my quoted tweets real quick. This guy's name is, who's the idiot on Twitter? Who's the idiot? Aha. Charlie Kirk is the moron's name. Charlie Kirk says basically he doesn't want to support the NBA anymore, not that he ever did, because just how dare they with the anthem and stuff like that. I'll get to that later on. However, I find it interesting, this Major League Baseball people, they're terrible. My point with mentioning Charlie Kirk was, I just feel like I'm Charlie Kirk saying I'm never going to watch these guys again. But I have 2 new reasons why. Number one, if you haven't heard it before, we will now. Rob Manfred is terrible. The commissioner of baseball is absolutely god-awful. I will not even go into adjectives describing the man. It's already been accounted for, obviously. He is not good as a commissioner. I just don't find it. I told you guys last week I don't find it entertaining when we wait and they don't speed up the game, although KBO will, the Korean Baseball Organization. But now we've got this coronavirus. And see, NBA and the WNBA are in this gigantic Orlando bubble. They call it the billion-dollar bubble, okay? They're playing basketball right now. I'm watching Rockets and Mavericks on ESPN. You should stick it right here, though. I'll give you guys updates. Don't worry. It's not it's okay right now. It's closer than it should be. But basically, I'm getting at the point, this is just ridiculous. Like, the NBA has 22 teams plus 12 more WNBA teams in this bubble. And you mean to tell me they've had 0 cases? But see, what did Major League Baseball do? They got greedy. Remember when I told you guys a few weeks ago that baseball was just begging for money? Like, the players wanted to play, but at the same time, they weren't going to play unless they got their money. Baseball was saying, we want to play, but certain things have to happen. Well, guess what? They have no bubble. The Miami Marlins got 16 players and coaches. And that was the last time I checked yesterday. It might be more than that now. 16 players and coaches tested positive for COVID-19. NBA has had 0 in the last week or 2. The Marlins literally had to cancel a game against the Baltimore Orioles because of this. Because Rob Manfred is an incompetent idiot, and Major League Baseball, the elites of that organization, are no different. It is pathetic. They are so poorly run. My allegiance is to the Korean Baseball Organization. And now let's get to the point of, so we all know about the Astros and the Asterisks, right? They cheated the whole thing, right? They were just absolutely terrible. Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa are complete garbage. But let me get to a tweet I mentioned. Excuse me. Let me get to a tweet I mentioned about this, because I want to talk about Major League Baseball, because Joe Kelly of the Dodgers threw a pitch at somebody. Says, nice swing, you female dog. And then it gets suspended 8 games. Baseball's excuse for suspending him that much, like nobody was going to do that to the Astros this year. It's very simple. Their excuse was, oh, because of past transgressions. You know what? Get out of here. Stop that. So because baseball did that to Joe Kelly, I've tweeted this thread, and I believe it should be said on my show. Korean Baseball Organization is where my baseball fandom lies now. I am literally, and this is sad, I am literally angry that a sport many love is being mocked by Rob Manfred and the Major League Baseball elites. Steroids are glorified, cheating is accepted. My sincere condolences to Joe Kelly. You made us all proud. Hashtag RIP MLB. I had to throw that in there. Every child that plays baseball sees this stuff. What example are we setting for the future athletes? If Joe Kelly got an 8-game suspension after the Astros players had been suspended, fine. But to let Altuve, Springer, and Correa play and profit is completely absurd. Baseball is a beautiful game. To watch people cheat it and then embrace that cheating is dancing on the graves of Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, and many more that pioneered the sport. Let me get a mic drop. Guys, that's flat out, it's ridiculous how baseball's treated this whole thing. I've said many times I'm not going to watch it again. But, you know, my opinion doesn't matter. I have 55 followers on my newest Twitter account, MKADHD. I'm just not a fan of this. This is completely unacceptable. We have an unsafe thing where they're letting players travel all over the world. We have the Astros not being suspended. And when people get mad they're not suspended and throw a pitch, we're suspending them for 8 games. Now let me get this out of the way. I was told by some 12-ounce sports people, and I'm calling you guys out now. I was told by certain people, are you justifying Joe Kelly throwing at the head of Carlos Correa? Yes, because if he actually wanted to peg him in the brain, he would have. Carlos Correa saw us going towards his shoulder and ducked down, which made it go to his head. And it still did not even hit his head. And he's wearing a helmet! This is ridiculous. Does somebody explain to me why I should watch Major League Baseball? And I'm not saying why I should watch baseball. There's a difference between a sport and a league that uses the sport, okay? Arena football, which is now defunct. XFL, Canadian football, all use football, but I support the NFL. NBA and others use basketball. I support the NBA. I like baseball. I hate Major League Baseball. For honest, I honestly thought the COVID-19 thing was terrible. They're completely unsafe, but now we have the Joe Kelly getting suspended for 8 games, and they get out of here. Stop that. Completely trashing the sport everybody loves, but who cares, right? I'm just a guy on 12 on sports. We'll be right back. When we come back, NBA return and the NFL 100 list that has me and a lot of people scratching their heads. And yes, I'll be right back.
Drinkade, ready for distribution worldwide.
The NBA came back, and boy, did it ever. I also want to apologize. I feel like my voice is a little bit hoarse. I'm not sure why. I haven't really talked in a while today. For some reason, I'm just got a hoarse voice. I'm also sweating. Lose some weight, right? Okay, right now the Mavericks lead the Rockets 65-58 in the first half. James Harden has 23-plus points with 5:39 left in the first half. And Mavericks are still on top. So let's talk about the games on opening day on Thursday, which was yesterday, July 30th. First off, the Jazz beat the Pelicans in a rally. I want to get to this game just a little bit because I feel like a few things about the Jazz and the Pelicans should be said here. Where are we at? So, Chris Haynes of Yahoo Sports says before the game that Zion will play in bursts because of conditioning. Looked pretty good to me. Apparently not to the Pelicans. And I swear to God, this better pay off in 3 years because he was so good. Had 13 points in 15 minutes and pretty much took over the game when he was inside. But, who cares, right? Everybody loves Brandon Ingram for some reason. Donovan Mitchell closed late, and I absolutely loved it. As a Heat fan, I would love him on Miami. I'll settle down, though, and not, I don't want to say jinx, but you get it. And I believe Rudy Gobert holds the Utah Jazz back. I believe he has a very limited offensive repertoire. He doesn't seem to grab offensive rebounds a lot. He seems to just get alley-oops. Kind of like Clint Capella, but I feel like Clint Capella runs the floor better. I think Gobert is a great player, but I believe he should expand his game, and I don't believe he will. I believe he's a set-in-place center. Nice center, but I don't believe it works with the Jazz. They have too much shooters to just have a guy banging down low every so few possessions. I don't understand it. I believe Rudy Gobert holds the Jazz back, especially guys like Donovan Mitchell. That being said, the Pelicans, like I said, Pelicans looked like they blew a lead, and they did, okay? So the Pelicans, Lonzo Ball's completely disorganized. He was just not very good. Missed wide open layups. Did not shoot many threes and didn't make those. Was blown by Mike Conley multiple occasions. J.J. Redick really saved the day. Derek Favors was completely godsmacked by Rudy Gobert inside. Well, I still have to remind myself of when Derek Favors played in that game. And yeah, it's pretty much the story of the game. And also Brandon Ingram missed his last 3 shots. But he's so stinking good. You're right. He's also soft. He's a lesser version of Kevin Durant. It's not going to be KD. Stop it. Lakers beat the Clippers. And I know what you're saying. Well, they only beat them by 2 points. And Sweet Lou and Montrezl Harrell. First of all, that's Sweet Lou's problem. Let's get that out of the way right now, okay? Sweet Lou did it himself, okay? He not only went to the funeral, he went to a strip club to buy some food. Oh, he's only there for 20 minutes. I don't care. The NBA has a system in place. He didn't follow the system. Maybe they have approved restaurants you can get out of town. I don't know. But he was not in the Orlando bubble. Even though he was excused, he definitely was not working very smartly. And he was taking pictures with the guy who made an awful rap song like "What's Poppin'." Like, get out of here with a Jack Harlow. Every white guy that makes a banger, I swear to God, they get idolized. It's ridiculous, man. Okay. As for the Lakers, I believe that LeBron James absolutely showed up. Oh, he missed so many shots. Well, maybe that's the reason the game was close. Because the night LeBron is off, the Lakers can still beat you because AD showed up finally. I told you guys from day one, this is not just Charles Barkley, this is Mike who said this first, okay? I told you guys in the first game, AD was bullied in the first 2 games. I told you that. The next 2, he scored 30 and 34 respectively. AD is the difference. Nobody can guard him. Nobody. I don't care if it's Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell can do like Patrick Beverley. He can make it ugly. He will not change the outcome of the game. AD will change it more so. Okay? That's the idea here. LeBron was a lockdown defenseman, and I loved every minute of it. he also was the best player on the floor because I feel like LeBron, maybe it was AD, but LeBron James did a great job. Even when he was missing shots, he wasn't jacking up shots because he knows he was out of rhythm. Great passes all night. Great defense. And this is the best part of it all. Oh, well, Kawhi's the best player. He's got Paul George. I told you when the season started, the LeBron James, what has happened when he's played those two in playoff games? He beat him unless Wade's knees were falling off. And he smacked Paul George when he was with the Pacers before his knee injury. LeBron James, first he shuts down Kawhi where Kawhi has to pass back to Paul George. Then Paul George throws up a three and it clanks. Let's go! I told you guys LeBron James could beat those two in his sleep. And I swear to God, if and when the Lakers win the championship, this will completely cement LeBron as the greatest basketball player of all time. Michael Jordan at 35 would never dream of doing what LeBron is doing right now to these teams. Cannot wait for the rest of it. Blazers beat the Grizzlies in overtime. I feel like the Blazers are like the Jazz. The Utah Jazz, they're good every year, but they're not great every year. I love Damian Lillard. CJ has been great in the scrimmages and now in the games. And they had to hold off the Grizzlies. I do believe John Morant was impressive. I got into a little Twitter war with people who said, oh, well, goodness gracious. Zion Williamson is not as good. No. The question by CBS Sports was who will be the best player for the next 10 years. I will take Zion all day, every day. I love John Morant. He's great. He has shut up a lot of haters. I didn't even know who he was coming into the NBA draft, okay? But he's been great. And he deserves our respect. But Zion is better. I'm not saying Zion should win Rookie of the Year. Because the NBA got rid of that when they said that the awards will be done before these seeding games happen, okay? So don't come at me with, oh, he should win Rookie of the Year. No crap, he should win Rookie of the Year. But Zion is better. Y'all see the Zion behind the back pass? If you haven't, you should, okay? Just saying. He may have played 15 minutes and still had my jaw on the floor. Anyways. Also, I lost respect for some ESPN guys. I don't want to say idolized. But I find it very interesting. The Bucks and the Celtics just played. Bucks won 119 to 112, but when the game was tied at 107 with just over 2 minutes to go, Giannis Antetokounmpo fouls Daniel Tice for his sixth foul. The referee reviews a hostile act, and somehow no foul is called. It was clearly not a hostile act, wasn't even close to a hostile act, and that apparently in the rule book negates any foul. So Giannis stays in, dominates the rest of the way. I think Celtics would have won. But I lost respect for Mike Breen because I don't care for Stan Van Gundy and Jeff Van Gundy. I mean, I don't care for Stan either. He was trash last night too. But I don't care for Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson as analysts, okay? They are not very good on the broadcast. They are droning on about absolutely nothing. Mike Breen, bang! I love him. But be very clear. When he brushed it off and said, oh, I would say something, but apparently the referees are too far away. This man said they're too far away. I'm going to tell you what I told Mina Kimes because I think it is justified here. I'm still getting replies to this too. Okay. Mina Kimes, NBA foul Twitter watching Giannis dominates. And then Mina Kimes casually posts like, yeah, with all those little chickens in the basket. It's very funny. You're hysterical, Mina Kimes. Here's what I said to Mina, who I like. Mina, you are a good analyst and all. I respect it. But does ESPN make that much money from the NBA that you, Mike Breen, Mark Jackson, and Jeff Van Gundy can simply move to the next play and forget? I love the NBA, but where are your morals? You know better. Okay. They literally said it should have been a foul from PFNZAK. And I said, then 5 seconds later, completely forget it. As a person who has done broadcasting, I would not let that go. If I'm Mike Breen, I do not sit there and say, whoa, they're too far away. Man, stop it. That was a game-changing moment, and they wanted to see Giannis in the game, and so did the NBA. I don't usually call it the league that I love, but I had to call them out on that time. I'm sorry. That's just the facts. There is no way to say otherwise. Update on the Mavericks and the Rockets, 73-69 in the first half. Psych, 76-69. A three-pointer by the Mavericks with 2 minutes left in the first half. That's a great scoring game. If you had the over, congratulations. My bookie loves you. NFL top 100 list. This is impressive. So actually, it's completely not. So Lamar Jackson is number 1. He should not be. Whoa, he the running ability. No, that's really fantastic. As much as I love Lamar Jackson, I've defended him on this very show. No. Patrick Mahomes threw for 1,000 more yards, which makes up for those rushing yards, and guess who won the Super Bowl? I'm just saying. They both had great teams last year. Do not tell me, well, Mahomes has Andy Reid. Get out of here with that crap. They're both great. Lamar Jackson's not better. I promise you. He's not. It's going to be a great battle in the AFC, but come on now. Christian McCaffrey got some love at number 6, but he's white. I swear to God, analysts, everything is about race, man. The only reason that people like him is because he's white. Stop it. I'll get to the number 14 in just a minute. Who wears number 12? Dak Prescott at 46 and Carson Wentz is unranked. Are we serious right now? Like, as a person who loves Dak Prescott, I have defended Dak Prescott on the show as well. But be very, very clear. Dak Prescott had a better team and missed the playoffs to guess who? Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was throwing to a guy named Greg Ward who played quarterback. Man, I think it's comical. These players, this is Dallas media, or it's not just Dallas media, because, that's not true. Mavericks do not get that much credit, okay? They should, but they shouldn't. This is Jerry Jones paying off media members. This is ridiculous. Let me tell you a bunch of players think Dak Prescott's better than Wentz. Man, stop that. Wentz is, okay, this is the best part. Are we that hungover from Super Bowl 49 or whatever when Matt Ryan and the Falcons blew a 28-3 lead to Tom Brady and the Patriots that somehow that means Tom Brady should be number 14 and Matt Ryan should be unranked? Are we serious right now? Because that was not Matt Ryan's fault. I'm just wondering how Tom Brady at 40 freaking 3 years old. He's 43. And he was garbage last year. And Matt Ryan's unranked. Hey, kudos to you guys for being consistent because that's completely not fair at all to Matt Ryan. Dude's so disrespecting. It's pop in the mouth on hard hits in the game. Slapstick on the butt says good job. His team blows a 28-3 lead, but he gets the credit for it. Has a terrible offensive line last year. But he has Julio Jones. Man, stop that crap. Oh, he's Julio Jones. That's it. That's all you need. All you need on the team is Julio Jones. Forget the offensive line. Forget the defense. All you need is Julio Jones, right? I'm sorry. It's not the way I look at things. Whatever. It's fine. These players are complete idiots. But the list has always been trash. Like Aaron Donald. We have so much hate for this, but Aaron Donald had, I believe it was five separate games last year alone where he did not record a sack. But he's the second coming of defensive line Christ, and he's a nose guard. Like, it's not like at least Jamal Adams will play other positions. This guy bull rushes up the middle, but he's triple teamed. Man, if Aaron Donald was triple teamed on every single play, do you really think that would work? Like, let's be honest here. Like, people always say, oh, well, this guy was double teamed. Well, that leaves another guy open. You're telling me he was triple teamed, and I've seen the videos, the same 5 videos. That does not mean the guy was double teamed and triple teamed on every single snap. Well, pro football. Listen, Pro Football Focus is a bunch of analytic nerds. They're guys like me who are trying to tell you why they have stats and facts, okay? PFF is a joke. It's ridiculous. You cannot tell me, because he's double-teamed the most. 5 or 6 games alone last year, he had no sacks. But he's constantly considered a top 2 player. Come on now. This whole list is trash. When I come back, we'll talk about the AFC East and also getting a little bit of promotions and a special announcement. I have so many special announcements. This one's kind of cool, though. We'll be right back. About 12 minutes left on Mike City First.
For the marching exercise, you want to sit down in the center front of your chair, bring your feet shoulder width apart, and form a 90-degree angle with your knees. From here, you're going to lift one foot and raise the opposite arm, just as you march in place in your chair. Make sure you keep that core nice and tight and you breathe into it, and also maintain good posture with a straight back.
A reminder that Mike Said It First on Zingo TV and 12 Ounce Sports, Zingo TV's channel 761, is brought to you by, or show recap, other words, is brought to you by 12OunceSportsNetwork.com/Amazon. It costs you nothing. Literally. Like, let's say you're, I'm going to go to Amazon Prime and get me more food, contactless, whatever. Or I'm going to go on Amazon and get me a new PS5. Well, guess what? Just go to the link right here. You'll be able to just go straight to Amazon from the link, but please do it this way. This shows the guys at Amazon that we're getting people to look, and you get your Amazon stuff, and we profit, and it's like a handshake in a time of the virus. Are you kidding me? Speaking of the virus, boy, I actually don't feel good, and that's just weird. Because I actually stopped working. Well, I'm back working now, but I haven't started the new job yet. I don't feel too well. So, Here, our show recap, though. Yeah, not this. Good Lord. Jamal Adams was traded. I believe the Jets are, I don't know what else to think of them. Adam Gase is holding them back. We'll get to them in just a second. And the Seahawks, it's still up to Russell Wilson. Jamal Adams helps, but, Marlins, 16 players and coaches tested positive for COVID-19. Might be more by now. Major League Baseball is just a trash organization. Not to mention Joe Kelly getting suspended for 8 games. Like, we have priorities, people. And your safety is not one of them. And neither is the standards of baseball. It's okay. The NBA returned. The Lakers beat the Clippers, even though LeBron was not very good, despite clamping Kawhi and Paul George late. Jazz beat the Pelicans, and Zion is not too happy per a report I saw earlier that he only played 15 minutes. He was actually pissed. I don't know how true that is. I don't trust Bleacher Reports. Bucks beat the Celtics, although they shouldn't have. And I'm a Heat fan, so I hate saying that. And also, the Mavericks are playing the Rockets right now. That's the most combined points and a half this season with 160 plus right now on ESPN. But you're going to keep it right here for the end of Mike Said It First. I love you guys. Also, NFL 100 list. To put it shortly, the players are not experts. Completely, they're not very good. Lamar Jackson over Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes is comical, Christian McCaffrey. Oh, he's white. I don't care. Number 6 is awesome for Christian McCaffrey. I've been housing him since Stanford, but he was gonna flop. Get out of here. Also, we had Dak Prescott at 46 and Carson Wentz was unranked. I don't see how that's possible unless Jerry Jones pays off people. I'm dead serious about that too. I don't know how it's possible. I thought turning off the TV would help with the blinking. You can't even see me right now. I literally was going to do this downstairs, and I said, I'm going to do it in my room. And the lamp I got, this little lamp has no light bulb in it. Don't you love it? Production is trash. I'm sorry. I'm getting a webcam pretty soon. And also, Matt Ryan is still the fans are still hungover from the Super Bowl that the Falcons blew a 28-3 lead because Matt Ryan's not ranked and Tom Brady's number 14 at 43 years old. God, that's annoying. So again, our show recap is brought to you by ThelonSportsNetwork.com/Amazon. Just go to that website. It's literally going to take you straight to Amazon. It's fine, okay? Just help me out, guys. It costs you nothing. Division headlines for the AFC East. I've been teasing the Jets all evening here. It's actually 10:38 at night. It's not evening, it's nighttime. Let me get to my notes right here because I got some nice little outline for you guys. So, for the Bills, what is the next step? Because it's time to shine. Shouldn't they be division favorites with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Tre'Davious White on one team? Yes. The fact they're not tells you something about Bill Belichick and the Patriots. For the Patriots, speaking of them, Cam Newton and 6 players are out. When will he be the starter? How close to the former MVP level can he play? And can Bill establish a great D despite Dante Hightower opting out? The Dolphins and the Patriots always walk over, except for last year. Tua Tagovailoa's timeline. Okay. When does he start? How healthy is he, Colin Cowherd? He's not limping. Is he any good with a not great team? I'm referring to Alabama. And is Miami competitive at all? And for those blasted Jets, Adam Gase. How does Le'Veon Bell fit in this year? Oh, they worked it out. No. Will Sam Darnold progress? Can New York be competitive in a no longer top-heavy division? No. I decided to tell you guys that. I'm sorry. That concludes the show. Do not forget to catch tomorrow on Zingo TV, channel 761, promo code 120Z. You sign up on Zingo. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Kids Corner with my guy Ludovico. He's also doing some Madden giveaway, so look out for that. That's pretty much it for me. Yeah, don't forget to catch our 12 Sports store, $10.99 plus shipping and handling in 4 different colors. Each for 12 Sports mask. Wear the mask, you punks. MyBookie.ag Jizzle. MyBookie.ag $1,000 deposit bonus. Promo code 12-ounce sports, man. I love you guys. It's been real. It's been awesome. We got about 5 minutes to kill here. I want to show you guys something awesome that actually Cody Jansen made. He runs the World Hockey Report. Pretty dang good at it, too. And here's a little commercial we aired last week on the MLB Preview Show, which I now regret doing because Major League Baseball sucks. But anyways, here's the awesome promo we had for the network. Be right back.
James A. Paxton here, weekly blog writer and host of The Media's Input, and this is 12-Ounce Sports.
It's Wednesday, my dude.
Fantastic. He gets all this money, and that's it? We're okay with that? No. Baloney. I'm going to tell you what I think should happen.
The one, the only king on the ice himself, Philly Pete, and we are live on 12-Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 760.
We talk about this every single week. Every single week somebody else is up for the document.
Everyone to Talking Miners. We're getting new at this thing. Great start to the show, everybody.
I'm going to give you all 30 seconds to make sure you get your popcorn and your soda can.
Welcome in live to the 12 Ounce Sports Studio.
World Hockey Report live comes here on 12 Ounce Sports. Cody Jansen with you, joined with Cam
It's
Jansen.
the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime captain, and I got the Angles, the primetime Angles on 12 Ounce Sports.
Smarter by watching the Captain Lou Extravaganza live every Tuesday night at 8 on the 12 Ounce Sports Network.
I just think it's comical, man. First of all, shout out Cody Jansen, but I just think it's comical that we've got to deal with the Major League Baseball stuff right now. It's ridiculous. They are not a good organization at all. So Patrick Mahomes is completely committed to Kansas City. This guy grew up in Texas, played college at Texas Tech. His dad never even played for the Royals, but he's a Chiefs guy. And now Patrick Mahomes is a part owner of the Royals. Love it. My girl Sabrina Ionescu sprained her ankle, man. That was annoying. I'm not going to lie. That was completely annoying. And I feel sorry for her. It looked pretty bad. She rolled it pretty bad. And I believe that, we heard that maybe she has a sprain. But I don't know, man. Is what it is. I do feel sorry for Sabrina. That would have been a good finish between Kennedy, Carter, and the Dream. She was 4th pick overall and seems pretty determined to prove herself. And Sabrina of the New York Liberty. The Liberty are complete trash, by the way, except for Sabrina. They were competitive, but Dream ended up winning the game. Dream, of course, are that team with the Republican part owner. It's fine. All right, guys, have a great night. I'll see you guys next time. This has been Mike's the First. Have a good one. Oh, and next week, 10 p.m. Eastern Live, Talkman Radio and Mike. Oh, yeah, it's happening.